Sure.
To me.
Hello, how is it going, everybody? We are so back. Apologies for the technical difficulties. To begin with, OBS was just being assho. So I brought the round table here to discuss Sweet Baby Inc. and Gamergate with Adentum and Ptolemy, which let me get you guys up on the stream real quick. Yeah, the technical difficulties, dude. It's not just YouTube trying to strike me down. It is quite literally the very software that I use that is hostile. But yeah, shout.
Damn it.
Yeah, shout both of their. They're both tagged in the title, so make sure you check them out after watching this stream, of course. And yeah, let's get straight into to Gamergate. What 10, 11 years later. Because I believe Feminist Frequency, that was kind of 2013, correct?
Yeah, I mean...
Well, that's where it started.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and you're, Ptolemy, you've been on the front lines. You've been in the trenches, basically ever since...
It's true.
Ever since the get-go, so... Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean... Yeah, like 10 years ago... It really did kick off like a whole new era of the industry in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? Like things have been very, there's been a lot of negative output coming from the press since Gamergate, and it really hasn't let up. It's been relentless, and we're seeing the same kind of thing play out right now with Gamergate 2. It's the same playbook, really. The journalists are, they're using the same strategy basically in their rhetoric against gamers. So not much has changed, but the landscape is different. I mean, the industry is in a bit of a different place. These journalists have been getting a lot of criticism, and I just don't think they have as much power this time. I mean, 10 years ago, they really could just steamroll all the criticism they were receiving. They outright lied about the entire narrative of what Gamergate 1 was even about, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so like the whole dynamic is very different this time, especially we just got the announcement that the Kotaku is not shutting down, but they're basically just a very bare bones skeleton crew, and they have to do 50 guides. Is it a week or a month?
Something like that.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, that's a hilarious crazy turn of events too.
Yeah, so like it's basically just the media apparatus in this is just much less powerful than it is back then, you would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's interesting about the Kotaku retooling that's happening right now is this should have happened 10 years ago. I mean, really the sensible thing to do when you have these ideologues posing as the press who are they're there to agitate. They're there to push their agenda, like how is that good for business? I mean, it's a no-brainer. Of course it's not. You're going to completely decimate your customer base. You're going to divide them. How is that good for business? Well, it isn't. But 10 years ago, the journalists, they were completely free to just write whatever the fuck they wanted. And they received zero consequences for that, like they just completely, they lost their shit, basically. And some of the stuff that they were coming out with was just ridiculous. I mean, and of course, when you combine that with Anita Sarkeesian being the face of the anti-Gamergate faction, I mean, she took that victim narrative all the way to the UN. She had institutional backing. She had, major newspapers writing her fluff pieces. I mean, it was like, how could an organic consumer backlash really compete with that? This relentless, once the mainstream media got involved, that was it. It's like we didn't really stand a chance against that. And you ask people today, well, what was Gamergate about? And they go, oh yeah, that was about harassing women, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's like like no, but for some reason everybody thinks, oh yeah, gamers are a bunch of misogynists, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
is that because Wikipedia says it?
Yeah, because Wikipedia, like their whole editorial standards are very bad, because essentially this is kind of quoting a Mentis Way video on Gamergate, but essentially they take secondary mainstream sources more into account than just primary sources. So you could link to the study itself, but it won't be accepted unless it's like reported by CNN or something.
Yeah, if I could say one thing about that. So the way it works is they'll write some article on like Kotaku or whatever, and then the Wikipedia will link that as the source automatically because they did that. That's what they consider true.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, I mean they're sourcing themselves. It's that these journalists write the pieces. Then of course Wikipedia just uses these terrible hit pieces as primary sources. It's like, okay, Kotaku decided that the entire gaming community is just a bunch of like whatever, misogynist, dust covered trolls or whatever, and that's the consensus now.
Yeah, and by the way, just if you want to know more, get a little deep dive into Wikipedia and Gamergate. Mentis Wave has good videos on it, especially his debunking Wikipedia's article on Gamergate. A very good video by Mentis Wave right there. Just wanted to give that shout out, credit where credit's due. Yeah, but I think just Gamergate back then it's just not as, I guess, powerful as it is now. Not as many people were made well aware, because it's definitely, if you've played games by the AAA studios, it's obvious now, right?
Yeah, like absolutely.
Like I made a tweet about this, but if you in 2020, if you open up Call of Duty, it was a Black Lives Matter loading screen. Grand Theft Auto 5 went on, like, shut down their servers for 24 hours just about, or it might have been 1 hour, but they shut down their servers for George Floyd. And
it's totally absurd.
Yeah, but so it's like it's right there, it's in front of your faces, right? It's not just some like depression quest indie game. It is Call of Duty. Huge franchises.
And yet you hear them using the same kind of argument where they try and gaslight you. People, the average gamer is posting on Twitter, they're like, what the hell's going on? Why are you politicizing our video games to such a ridiculous degree? And then you get this brigade coming out going, show me politics. I don't see any politics.
What
are you talking about? Are you crazy?
Yeah, it's
just like, it's like, yeah, okay.
It's from one hand, it's like, oh, video games were always woke, and then on the other hand, it's
I've heard that one.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, it's like, there's no woke video games.
Yeah, I've seen that. Literally, I saw someone posting that like 2 days ago. They're like, oh yeah, give me a list. What video games are woke? It's like, what are you talking about? All of them. Every major AAA game has some kind of politicized content that's shoved in the most like obnoxious way possible. But yeah. Like think of like Spider-Man 2, right? And like that's one where you can directly see the contrast, right? Spider-Man 1 before Sweet Baby Inc., Spider-Man 2 after Sweet Baby Inc. Yeah, and that is their job. They have to force in the DEI.
Just with these consultation firms, which I don't think that there's obviously more to it than just Sweet Baby. Like,
of course, there's a huge list of these consultants.
I'm not going to be that naive, but I think but you shine light on Sweet Baby Inc. itself, and like it's one of those institutions where you're not supposed to see it. It's just supposed to work in the background, and only those that are in the club are supposed to know, because they're going to be lining their pockets.
Yeah, that's a good point. You can see how upset a lot of these journalists are just at the mere exposure of Sweet Baby Inc. I mean, they don't even want people to know this company exists. They'd prefer it to be completely just a behind the scenes operation. But that was what makes the whole Steam list. That Brazilian guy, he made the Steam list, and all he's doing is just pointing out a company that's on the credits of these games. I mean, how is that unreasonable in any way?
Yeah.
But they're treating him like he's,
they want
he's some kind of extremist.
Yeah, which if you I think it's well, I'm okay, it's on the tip of my tongue, But like, if you've actually like seen that guy, he's not some sort of extremist. He's just like generic kind of anti-woke guy that, you know, kind of like, I just wanted to play video games. Just it's like,
why do you make me do this?
Why did you make me do this?
That's the meme, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, it's comical because they're trying to make this guy out to be some like mustache twirling villain that he's not. He's just like,
no way.
Yeah, you know what? I see that this like Sweet Baby company, the games associated with it aren't that good, and if they are good, it's in spite or just like independent of Sweet Baby Inc. Right? It's like, you know, Alan Wake 2 is probably a bad example, but like Spider-Man 2 and God of War Ragnarok, they had that momentum and the development they just built upon the first game's engine, right? They just had the first game built from there. And so those two were successful. You know, the stories were definitely downgrades from their predecessors, but it was basically guaranteed they were going to succeed. So of course they introduce all the stuff like Spider-Man 2, PS5 has gender inclusive Spanish.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard a lot of Spanish and Mexican people upset about it.
They messed up the Spanish language.
They also messed up the Puerto Rican flag too.
Yeah. That was funny. That's just funny.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like with all these consultancy firms, you know, all of this like DEI, all of that, you know, double checking, making sure there's nothing offensive about a piece of work. And then you just get hit with hey, the game's already out. The game's gone gold, and this flag of the like secondary main character Miles Morales is just wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they expose themselves with this kind of stuff, really, because it shows you that they're not interested in making good quality products at all. You know, and even their own ideology is kind of just a smokescreen for them to just fuck with things anyway. They don't even really have strong convictions about this shit, do they? They just like, do they care about being having authentic Puerto Rican culture included in the game? They don't give a shit. They just want to fuck it up so that gamers, I don't know, we're slightly more humiliated, and the jackboot just crushes our face a little harder. You know, that's kind of like what they're about, and it's becoming very clear to everybody at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, because I feel like especially with these cinematic games, it's just kind of trying to appeal to the the people that's like that just like mindlessly scrolls through Netflix, right? It's like, oh, it's like a movie, but it's interactive. Wow, maybe video games are art. Maybe video games should be respected. It's like trying to conform to the lowest common denominator, just to kind of be just to get recognized as, like, you know. And you can see this with Neil Druckmann, right? No,
not Druckmann.
No, when it comes to kind of the press tour, when it comes to the Last of Us TV show. Yeah, like, have you seen where he was walking, I think, the red carpet, and nobody was taking photos of him? No, they're taking photos. I want to now. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness, I have to show you guys. But yeah, essentially, like, you know, people were taking photos of the actors, all of that stuff, but not Neil Druckmann. They didn't care about the person who directed the second game, you know. That basically was like the brainchild to the direction that The Last of Us ended up going.
Which is just so poetic, really, because Druckmann craves that kind of attention. You know, he wants to be one of these public-facing, artistes that everyone kisses their ass, right? You know, that's kind of what he wants. It's like a Hollywood thing, isn't it? Oh yeah, Kojima is also on that same trip as well, albeit in a more of a goofy way. I mean, Kojima's hilarious, but
dude. What was the OD? Was that the game that was announced during the Game Awards? And it has that one person from the new Hunger Games. I'm trying not to get us banned, but If you know, you know. Yeah,
I gotta be careful here.
Yeah, but yeah, here it is.
Hunter Schafer, though, right?
Yeah, Hunter Schafer, that one.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know Hideo and Hunter are pretty tight these days, so.
Yeah, but yeah, here's this from Memology 101 just about 2 months ago. Neil Druckmann at the Golden Globes, January 7th, 2024.
Oh, he's seething.
Yeah, it must have crushed him, you know? Because really, he wants the adulation of the wider culture. He wants everyone to think, wow, Last of Us, it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, this genius. And no one cares.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, which... yeah, just like, oh, yeah, you, like, Hollywood's not going to accept you, bro. Stop trying to appeal to them.
Yeah, because, I mean, video games are for children and man babies. Didn't you get the memo, Neil?
Yeah, like all the normies, they played The Last of Us, right? And that, or they watched The Last of Us, right, on HBO. And like there was a trickle down effect. The reason that The Last of Us Part 1 remake was, dropped the way that it was basically because, right, it, you can sell it for $70 and then you can just like, hey, sell to the normies. This is The Last of Us, brand new, up to like 4K shiny graphics. It's not a PS3 game, guys. It's a PS5 game. just like kind of suck in all of the normies that watch it through HBO.
Yeah. They've re-released it quite a few times now, haven't they?
Oh,
it's like the third.
Yeah, I think it's on PS4 too.
Yeah, so yeah, it was.
Yeah. They had like a slight remaster for PS4, and they did it again.
Yeah, and it's even like more comical now because you can play the PS4 version on the PS5.
Dude, it's like Twilight Princess HD on the Wii U.
Yeah, that is literally the same thing. Yeah, cause like the main reason that you would get Last of Us on PS4, right? Because a PS4 can't play PS3 games unless you do like streaming or whatever through PS Plus, which I'm pretty sure there is a tier of PS Plus where you just get The Last of Us on PS4 remastered, just included in that subscription. So yeah, essentially. Not that big, but at least they made all the women look like 10 years older in the remake.
They're trying to fix Ellie. Yeah, well, they need to fix Ellie's design, right? Because she was not butch enough or something. She wasn't harsh enough. So they've had to fix her.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just like, I don't know, this was released like a while ago, but I'm pretty sure I don't remember the names of the characters exactly, but they just like, they go from looking like, say late 20s, early 30s into just like straight up like 50. Like that's the biggest graphical change of the remake is where they just make the women look older.
Yeah, see that's the true vision of Druckmann. He wanted to make the technology to give women a more masculine kind of, butch look. That's what it was all about, right? The arms race. Mm-hmm. We need less feminine video game characters, and Druckmann and Naughty Dog, they're pioneering that tech, right? Good for them.
Yeah. Druckmann is like very much good friends with Anita Sarkeesian, by the way. Very because I'm pretty sure was it like a GDC talk that he did where he said like Anita Sarkeesian was an inspiration?
Didn't she actually consult on The Last of Us Part 2?
I wouldn't
Personally,
be surprised.
I read that somewhere.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I do remember she also consulted on the bad Mass Effect game that came out in 2017. Andromeda, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even touch that.
I played
it looked so bad
and had to put it down.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Fair enough.
I'm pretty sure the team, right, when interviewed about how much of a failure it was, they were just like, because it came out the same month as Breath of the Wild. It's like, yes, on a for like a launch title for a very new system. Same, definitely competing with the like Xbox One PS5 game.
Well, when did that come out? When did Andromeda come out? That was,
I think it was definitely 17. It was definitely 2017.
It was 17 or 16, one of the two.
Yeah, because that game was quite woke for the time.
March
I feel like they retooled it. They retooled Mass Effect to make it more woke with that game, didn't they?
Yeah. I mean, also, like, thing is, it was straight up a broken mess. That was the most obvious thing about it.
Yeah, the animation.
It looked better.
Yeah. So it came out March 21st in 2017. So, yeah, that was roughly the same time period as Breath of the Wild, and they literally blamed it on Breath of the Wild, even though I'm pretty sure Horizon Zero Dawn also came out in 2017, and that ended up being like the highest selling PlayStation game. Which chances are the reason it's the highest selling was because it was the first to get ported to PC in like 2020. And also just it gets sold for really cheap. I'm pretty sure it was on sale for like $12 recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like they completely just obfuscated any sort of this game's bad. they're just unwilling to admit it.
Well, that's kind of the line they run with all the time now, isn't it? It's these games are flopping. They all flop. Like every AAA game from the West that comes out ends up being disgustingly disappointing. But it's never, they can't just admit, okay, you know what, maybe we went too far here. It's just, there's always some excuse, isn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you see a bunch of game developers that are saying it's like, we shouldn't allow Baldur's Gate 3 to kind of like raise expectations of gamers. It's like what does that say about you?
Yeah, it was a little bit too good. Sorry, we'll do better next time.
That's properly ridiculous. It's like, wow, you are intimidated by the bear sex game.
Yeah, every game should come out like Dragon's Dogma 2.
I'm seeing a lot of copa about Dragon's Dogma 2 at the moment. There seems to be a lot of people that were hyped.
DLC.
Oh yeah. So it's like listed as so apparently there's stuff that you can still get in game, but it's just listed as DLC.
Yeah, if you want fast travel, you actually have to purchase that.
Yeah, because
that's Capcom.
Yeah, yeah. Like they had the same sort of thing in Devil May Cry 5 at launch, I believe.
Yeah, all their games have this kind of pretty unnecessary microtransactions, don't they? I mean, Monster Hunter has it. Monster Hunter, it's if you want to make a new character, you got to pay for it. You got to have a ticket to redesign your character or something. So, yeah, I mean, Capcom have been doing this for a while.
Yeah, like thing is the budgets on these games are so high that they have to kind of do this nickel and diming stuff. It doesn't matter if the game's already $70, right? It's gonna go on sale in like 4 months because people just won't be buying it much longer.
Yeah, the thing that rubs people the wrong way, though, is that we're still paying $70. Like, surely that price point should allow them to reduce the microtransactions, because it is a kind of turnoff, isn't it? People see that and they go, "So I can't make a second save unless I pay." That's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you look at Elden Ring, and you can make as many characters as you want. So, how come FromSoft don't have to stick it to their customers?
It's kind of hilarious how the Demon Souls remake, that was 70, but Elden Ring is 60.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's just gonna get like solidified and worse once Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, because frankly, they can sell that game for $100 and it will still sell out the ass. It will still sell out the ass.
Yeah, that's one of the last remaining like guaranteed golden gooses, isn't it? I mean, like that's going to be a huge game.
Yeah.
Regardless of the quality.
Yeah.
Oh, no joke.
I have a feeling I'm not saying it's going to flop. I don't think it will do as well as Grand Theft Auto 5.
I think if they try that model they mentioned, like paying by the hour, like that would be terrible.
No, I mean, like
it's break new ground monetization.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's basically just like a kind of like bleeding the stones more, right? Because there are people that will absolutely pay per hour. Who knows how long they'll stay, but it like somebody buying a game at flat rate and playing it for how long it's been out for, like, what, 11 years now, Grand Theft Auto 5. And
wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it came out in 2013. It's like, and obviously chances are, like, these people might have bought it twice, right? Because, like, they do the thing where it's like, oh, it's on the last gen consoles first, and then it's on the new gen consoles, and the new gen consoles aren't backwards compatible, so you gotta buy it. And it's still 30 frames per second, by the way. And then it's released on PC. There, you can have your mods. And then even on the PS5 and Series X, they still re-release it as its own thing, as its separate game. It's not even just like a remaster or like kind of like an update, like patch for Series X and PS5. It's literally just, you want to buy the gold edition? That'll be more money. Yeah, do you want 60 frames per second? Gotta pay up.
Yeah, because you can already play Grand Theft Auto 5 like on the Xbox Series X through the one version.
Yeah. That literally, yeah, like both PS5 and Xbox Series have the backwards compatibility, which they did not when the Xbox One and PS4 came out. So it's just like they can still sell it and it'll still sell. So, but I think just the lack of backwards compatibility for the PS4 and Xbox One, that definitely kind of encouraged more double dipping. And I think
it's become normalized now, isn't it? It's that all these companies, they know they can double, triple their profits pretty easily just by, stringing along their customers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
But for some reason, it's like the GTA series, normies cannot resist it, so it's almost guaranteed. I mean,
yeah.
I'm curious to see how it's going to be received. I mean, like, do you think there'll be any kind of Sweet Baby Inc. type woke shit forced into it? What do you reckon?
So have you seen like the leaks before? Like, this was well before the trailer was released, but there are leaks of it. And in those leaks, presumably the main female character, she looked much more attractive in those leaks than she ended up doing in the trailer.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like I mean, you can't have attractive female characters in video games anymore. It's 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just not an option.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I mean, like some of these kind of anti-woke channels, they were still trying to like sell her as like, oh man, beautiful women in gaming are back. Wow, she's wearing a bathing suit. Wow, she's not wearing a burqa. Wow.
Yeah.
GTA 6 is not woke. It's like, I don't know. There's gonna be a good, like, I have a feeling when that game comes out, right, and if you criticize it, you're gonna get absolutely dogpiled. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, it'll be like a few years before people can really talk about it. Honestly, I think.
Yeah, because like the same thing happened with Starfield. It happened pretty fast, right? But it's like, so you cannot criticize Starfield. It's the greatest Bethesda game ever, and then give it like 2 weeks, right? And it's like, oh wow, this is actually
now no one's talking about it.
Yeah, no one cares. The legacy of Starfield is heel versus babyface, and and that like fail, like Xbox tried to sell it as some sort of a console seller, and then it was not a console seller at all. People saw right through it.
Yeah, wow, it fell off very quickly.
Yeah,
like insanely quickly for a Bethesda game. You'd think there'd be some modding kind of longevity there or something, but I read this article. One of the modders came out and he said, "I don't even want to work on it. It's so lame. I don't even want to make mods for this game. I'm out." Right? Yeah,
and I think the engine in Starfield compared to like Skyrim is like harder to mod. So like, it's like, does Bethesda not know? Are they this incompetent?
I think they're genuinely incompetent. I feel like I'm less mad at Bethesda just because they just don't. What the fuck's going on with this company?
Yeah, I think they're still writing off Skyrim, to be honest.
Literally, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like they built up all that goodwill with a couple of Elder Scrolls games, and they're just going to live off of that for as long as they can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like they have like Fallout. I don't know. People still buy Fallout
76?
New Vegas, especially. Yeah, Fallout 76 kind of made a comeback. So it's kind of like, yeah, they kind of milked that quite a bit as a live service game, which I remember when that came out. It was bad. It was
The
bad.
bag, the Nuka-Cola rum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and remember the canvas bag controversy?
Yeah, the glitches of the game too. And you remember how some guy managed to find out how to get into like the testing room, started giving everyone all the legendary weapons, and Bethesda actually put up a bounty to find him?
Man. Yeah, it's like, yeah, like, but they sold the game at launch for, full price, right? And they fix it later. It's the fix it later approach. They already sold you the game, and obviously there's more microtransactions to be made. But then they
I feel
do,
like, yeah, they're the kings of fix it later, aren't they? You work for Bethesda. You only have to release a barely finished game, and then the community will fix it for you, and then you can just keep re-releasing it for another 10 years.
Yeah, the same thing. The same thing applies to Sea of Thieves. That like kind of was very underwhelming at launch, and people ended up kind of forgetting about it. But then 2020 came along. Everybody's locked inside. It's like, hey, let's play this. It's on Game Pass, and it's like, oh, this is not completely garbage because they've been working on it since the launch in 2018. It takes 2 years after the launch for it to be relevant.
I mean, that's where we're at, though, isn't it? Well, we get AAA games that are released like 2 years before they should be, and then it's not even worth buying them. You have to wait. You just wait for the remaster.
Yeah. And it's like if you wait, you get it for cheaper. So it's like you can play it. You can play it once all the updates are out, and then it's you're getting it for an objectively cheaper price. It's like, wow. And the only thing you kind of sacrifice is like being in on the discourse. Right? It's like, oh no, I can't talk about how I feel about Dragon's Dogma 2 because I haven't played it. I haven't chilled out 70 for it. I'm not risking my my Steam account getting completely frozen because I deleted my Dragon's Dogma save file.
I don't know how they thought that was a good idea.
Yeah. People are defending Dragon's Dogma because of course they are.
I've seen a lot of people defending it, actually.
Yeah.
It seems like they're out in full force. The apologists, they're like, hey, it doesn't matter that there's insane microtransactions. It's fine. It's a great game, okay? Some guy was like, oh, it's so much better than Elden Ring. Well, that's debatable, but the microtransactions really are an issue at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's literally the whole stuff with the like ballooning budgets. They kind of need to, the cost is getting bigger to add these, like all the graphics and all the cinematics, especially like the mocap. I've heard mocap is quite expensive. I haven't quite looked into the price myself, but so like with wanting to make these games more cinematic, these budgets are completely ballooning, right? And I'm pretty sure I have some take on this, but it's like the original Batman Arkham games. Yeah, this one. Yeah, so it's like you can see just like the 4 Batman Arkham games, right? Single digit writers. It kind of like peaked at 7 writers for Batman Arkham Knight. And then, you get to Gotham Knights, released like 2021, 2022, I believe. And it's 14 writers. And Suicide Squad is 26 writers. How do you have 26 writers on a live service Suicide Squad game?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Arkham City was great.
Yeah.
With 3. Some people didn't like Arkham Knight. I did. But like, what do you need? 26. Like, how do you even keep that in order, in track?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you had. There's so much bloat in these companies.
But that's the thing with the Sweet Baby Inc. push. This whole DEI ESG thing. It's that these people are employed and they're being paid, but what are they actually contributing? What kind of value are they adding to these games? It's none. It's negative. Half of those writers are responsible for ruining the game, turning it into a joke.
Yeah.
But they're not going to get fired. Well, maybe they'll get fired soon. I mean, I don't know. I have my thoughts about the whole Kotaku thing, really, where, perhaps there will finally be a bit of a backlash, internally with these companies. Maybe there will be some firings, because there should be. It's a no-brainer.
I can only hope. But like when I see these articles about layoffs in the games industry, and I'm just like, okay, these studios are bloated. Right, like these
26 writers.
Yeah,
it's just
and
insane.
It's like I'm trying, like, not to say this in like, oh, I'm bootlicking the corporation sort of way, but it's like if the game has come out, obviously you do not need as big of a staff as when the game is still in development. So. Yeah, wait until after the game. Because I'm pretty sure there were some layoffs like between like December and now. It's like at least they got their Christmas bonuses. At least they got that. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just so I just don't have any sort of a like care for the plight of the game developers anymore. It's like because they there's just like so many of them, and I said this in my most recent video, right? But there's this developer for Overwatch 2, and he was trying to push back the Steam release date of Overwatch 2 because of negative reviews. And so he knew the game would get review bombed on Steam, so he was trying to stop that. And that was like stopped by the higher ups. I think like, he said like Bobby Kotick by name. It's like, yeah, obviously a single game developer's feelings is not worth, like shutting out Overwatch from a new market. Which it did get review bombed. Which
justifiably.
Yeah, justifiably. So
that's
like,
the problem with these developers, though. They've been coddled for a long time. They think that they're invincible. They think they can just they can pull whatever they want, and their jobs will be protected. And I guess that's still going to continue for a while. But
yeah, with all these, you don't need above like 7. Like even Arkham Knight, 7 writers is kind of pushing it, right? You don't need that many for really anything. Like you can see the same phenomenon when it comes to the writers' room in Hollywood and the writers' strike. Because
they had the same problem.
Yeah, just like there's too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of motivation too, because a lot of these Hollywood movies are utter trash these days, and highly politicized. So I mean, how a lot of this staff, their job is simply to manage the propaganda being added to the content. That's their job, I guess, to make sure it goes through.
Yeah, and like most of these writers. Okay, just think, especially when it comes to the Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad writers, they were probably rejected by Hollywood. So
absolutely,
they don't want to make video games. These writers, they just want to make what they want to make, but with franchises that you already know and associate with being good. But they're just gonna like shove their story into the franchise like a round peg in a square hole. It's just
which is totally outrageous. It's like we've gotten used to this kind of behavior from these creators, right? Well, the market should correct it. The market should punish these people.
Yeah, which it does seem to be happening with Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's been happening for the last however many years. Since the last Gamergate, we've had so many flops, but the market correction that should just kick in, it's being postponed, right? They talk about get woke, go broke, but there's so much money. There's this huge reservoir of money that they just don't go broke. And in fact, maybe they're starting to go broke now for the first time. I heard that BlackRock maybe are reconsidering a lot of their ESG funding at the moment. There's some rumors about that. So you never know. I mean, if in the next few years, if we see the woke being put away, then I guess that will confirm that the money may have dried up finally.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that's actually. Yeah, I have a feeling because it also just might be, to take a more cynical path. It just might be the COVID bubble bursting, right? Because there's a bunch of new hires from for working at home. Maybe it's just like all that growth has finally began to burst, and they don't need that many employees anymore. People have it's all in the rear view mirror. Like nobody cares about that atrocity that happened for like 2 years.
Which is kind of shocking that everyone's just over it, but yeah.
I mean, like people are just like done talking about it, right? It's just like, please,
yeah.
It's like talking about
That's
hurricane
fair.
after a hurricane happened.
Well, it was just so unpleasant, I think people just don't even want to revisit it at all.
No, they don't want to talk about it, which fair enough. Fair enough. But where do you see the industry going from here?
Well, I think everyone's got a pretty big backlog at this point that they got to play.
Yeah. Definitely. Let me check how many Steam games I have yet to play. Most of them, yes.
Yeah, I have an insane amount, actually.
Yeah, so I could game pretty cheap for the next few years, honestly.
Yeah, like...
and that's what should be done, I mean, we should... everybody, really... Every gamer that actually wants to play good games should starve these people for as much money as possible. Just don't buy AAA games. Try and resist if you can. Or if you do, make sure it's from a company with no Sweet Baby Inc. ESG bullshit.
That's increasingly hard to find.
It is actually, yeah. Even in Japan now.
Yeah. Especially like the capacity is like, are like at what level are you willing to accept it, and what are you willing to make exceptions for? So it's like, like let's just say Sega has like super bad localizers. Like the localizers will have begun to tell the Japanese game developers what they should or shouldn't have in the game. So it's like that's not even like outsourcing the consulting to Sweet Baby. It's literally like internal from the localizers. Sorry.
That is a problem too. These these localization houses. I mean, it's the audacity of these people, right? That they think that they can just inject their own political perspective into Japanese games from Japanese creators. That have they given their consent for their work to be reinterpreted? No, they haven't, right? But it's just outrageous. You watch this happening and you go, how is this even possible?
Yeah, it's way more insidious than you may think. Just think, if you think it's incompetence, there is a little bit of that in there, but it's also wanting to own the chuds, right?
That's a lot of it. I think that's actually more of a motivation than anything else.
Yeah. Like, are you aware of this one YouTuber who criticized Phantasy Star Online? And
no,
I haven't heard that story.
Yeah, so this YouTuber ended up doing like 3 videos on Phantasy Star Online. Ended up getting like copyright takedowns like 2 years later on the first one. And considering it wasn't like auto claimed and it was already viral, right? It wasn't a legit copyright claim because it was from an @Gmail account. So it's like people, and also I'm pretty sure it's like the community manager for Phantasy Star Online was trying to like scrub any mention of Cyberbolt. That's the name of the YouTuber that made those videos. Trying to like scrub any mention of his name from like the Steam forums, from any sort of online discussion. And I think he ended up having to leave YouTube, and he started like deleting all of his videos, because if you want to counteract a copyright strike takedown, you have to dox yourself.
Yeah.
Didn't that happen lately with Bungie too? Some guy going around claiming a bunch of Destiny videos because he was pissed off?
Maybe. But like Technicals made a very good video on it recently if you want to check that out. But like basically if you criticize Phantasy Star Online, the community manager of the game came after him for it. So Be prepared.
What does that tell you? You know, like these people are on a power trip. I think it really is about some kind of they're crazed with the power. These low-level ideologues that work for these companies. Do the higher-ups know that these people are totally off the reservation, or are they just not paying attention? That's what I'm thinking when I saw that Kotaku story. I mean, they're turning Kotaku now into what, like a game guide website, and all the journalists are being forced to play video games, which apparently is just their worst nightmare. Well, you know, a lot of them are quitting, and why now? Why now? Why not 10 years ago?
Remember the guy from Polygon played Doom, and it looked like he was playing with one hand because of how bad he was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're all like that.
Was that Dean Takahashi?
Oh, I don't know. I remember it was shameful, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that video. It was insane. Like, he had the pistol, right? And he just could not get the reticule to hit the zombie that's barely moving.
If you were blackout drunk, you'd be able to play better. Oh, I love this one.
The classic Cuphead tutorial.
Oh, the Cuphead, yeah.
Literal tutorial. Which, yeah, because Dean Takahashi, the game journalist that did the Cuphead tutorial, he decided to speak up. The whole notion of Gamergate 2 and woke policies ruining gaming and game VCs funding bad titles belies the fact that of who controls industry. Women-led companies currently get about 2% of all venture capital funding. The powers that be are white men.
Okay, yeah. More gaslighting.
Yeah. Literally just throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. Luckily, he got completely 41k likes compared to what? 1.4k. Let's check these quote tweets. Because it's great. Yeah, the games journalists that can't even play video games. Talking about,
yeah, you know, it begs the question: why is this guy chosen to occupy such a position of authority within the press? You know, why?
Yeah.
Why can't we have someone that can actually hold a controller? Well, that's too much to ask.
Yeah, I think so. He did do gameplay of Doom Eternal. Yeah, is this the same gameplay where?
No, I'm thinking of Doom 1 from a while ago.
Oh, okay, 2016.
Yeah, definitely, but I'm sure this one is good too.
Yeah, let's see. This is Dean Takahashi gameplay. Dog, my father could play better than this, bro. Okay, yeah, that's literally like who's this stiff in their move? It's literally just yeah. Take your gaming opinions from this guy, from Dean Takahashi.
Yeah, how does he not have the self-awareness to realize he's a complete fraud, though? You know, it's like the audacity of standing there publicly facing the gaming community and saying, "I'm the authority. I can barely play Doom. I can't even get past the tutorial, but I'm the authority on video games and the moral authority." You know?
Yeah.
Look at him.
Yeah.
I can't believe that clip is 2 minutes long.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, because it's something if you're kind of not whole job, right? Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't exclusively cover video games. But if you do that and you want to expect, money, professional money for video games, right? This is essentially a plumber literally like sticking the plunger into your wall, right? Like he just doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, and then you complain. You say, "Excuse me, Mr. Plumber, are you qualified?" And then he goes, "You're a racist piece of shit for saying that."
Yeah.
You're a bigoted racist piece of shit. Shut up. It's like, well, dude, fix my toilet.
Yeah, or at least tell me what's wrong with it. Find something.
Do you have anything? Do you have any insight to offer whatsoever? But it sounds like a joke. But honestly, these people don't know what the fuck. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Looking at this, it's like he thinks he's playing Mega Man X, like trying to do the wall jump.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the tutorial is on the screen.
I know.
The text is there. He just has to read it.
Yeah, and it even says tap for short, hold for height jump. So it was like just hold on, hold A a little more.
I love it. And then he gets clowned on, and what's his comeback? White men suck. That's why I can't.
He did it. He after a minute 24. After 1:20 seconds, he finally did it. Let's see how long it takes for him to get the target.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know this part of the video existed. That took him like 14 seconds. He's learning.
Industry professional.
He'll figure it out. He's just never played a video game before. He writes about them, but playing them, that's where he draws the line. We all take our shortcuts at work, but for this guy who writes about video games, it's playing the game.
See, this is why they're so complacent now. This is why they're going to get caught off guard by Gamergate 2, because they're too comfortable in their complete incompetence. Like, all it takes is just a large enough group of gamers to simply just say, you're lying, you suck, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah.
And suddenly they do lose a lot of power just from people simply ignoring them.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it is also the landscape of censorship. Because essentially after Gamergate, 4chan got completely, I'm pretty sure you couldn't even mention it on 4chan, right?
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. Completely cucked after that. And, obviously, basically ever since 2017, increasingly so in 2018, the mainstream social media sites, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, right, have been increasingly censorious. But some African billionaire was just like, you know what? Let me just buy Twitter, and now he's retweeting Gamergate stuff.
Well, if you remember Kick Vic, he changed his profile picture at the time to one of the Elric brothers that was voiced by, what's his name?
Vic Mignogna.
Vic Mignogna.
So he did that in response to Kick Vic?
He did that around the same time. I guess there's no real proof it was in connection, but
okay.
I mean, little close.
Yeah, 'cause I do remember when Elon Musk changed his profile picture to Edward Elric. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's so strange. It's like, cuz pre-2022, it's like it was just a complete, I mean, Twitter it is also still a hellscape, but it's more fair hellscape. Everybody can partake in the rumble. And the the slap fight, and it's not just down to like, hey, who can get who suspended the quickest,
Yeah, well, I mean, Elon getting involved with Gamergate, I mean, that's just such a huge boon compared to 10 years ago. I mean,
yeah,
it does make a huge difference too, because he has a lot of cultural sway. Like everything he does becomes a meme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, essentially. Yeah, but like people have been kind of souring on Elon in both directions, right? Because people is like, oh, well, he's Elon man bad, and also just like, oh, I said the N-word on Twitter, hard R, and I got community noted. It's so over. Elon's a fraud.
People are flip-flopping back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, he has to placate the advertisers somewhat. Well, it's a weird position to be in for him, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the win. I mean, you got to be pragmatic about this stuff. Like, the fact is, he has freed up the conversation on Twitter to a degree that, people can go into these journalists' comment sections or whatever, and just they can really take the piss out of him.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like posting their blogs from Alyssa Marconte from Kotaku. It's yep. Because I remember when the G4 stuff happened, I'm pretty sure I got banned by blocked by Adam Sessler.
Sessler.
Yeah.
Sessler.
Yeah, and I got blocked by Jason Schreier as well.
Schreier.
Yeah, I should bring that up again. I wonder what he's tweeting about now. I can't see it either way.
I haven't heard Schreier weigh in on Gamergate 2 yet. I'm sure he has, but
yeah.
I heard he just wrote some book about Blizzard or something. I don't know. He's gone deep with his journalism.
Yeah, I mean like he does some good. He actually does investigate, right? He does the bare minimum of journalism.
Well, but he's still a complete like subversive asshole as well. But at least he has some kind of job that he does. You know. He interviews people. He actually does some work.
Yeah.
So I guess that puts him on the top. He's like the elite of the game journalist, right?
Yeah, it's just like he's the
best that they have.
The cherry on top of a pile of shit.
And also, I can't stand Schreier either, so fuck him. But
yeah. I mean, you know, there's I got blocked for the most like inconsequential of reasons. So just like, because I'm pretty sure he was like he was bitching about people using the term skill issue, right? And so a lot of
he's going to police just gamer speech.
Gamers,
I love it.
Yeah, and then like, you know, everybody in the comments is saying skill issue. So I posted a skill issue, you know, in response, got blocked like that.
Well, yeah, I see that this is the problem, isn't it? It's that legacy gamers are all about skill, and skill is something very unwoke, right? Because it represents the hierarchy of excellence, and you know, it's like they don't even want that. They don't want you to go there, okay?
Yeah.
You know, video games should all be really easy and terrible. The guy, this Cuphead guy, he should be able to beat every game that comes out.
Yes. What do you think of the yellow paint discourse?
Well, yeah. You want to take this one, man?
Yeah. Essentially, to explain yellow paint briefly, to explain a phenomenon where there are non-diegetic elements in the world design just to point the player in the right direction. So like yellow paint and like a mountain, right? It doesn't make sense in the sense of the world, but it's to kind of steer the player along, make sure they don't get stuck.
Okay, I get that.
It's an accessibility thing, isn't it? It started with Uncharted, I think, didn't it? Because, you know, back in my day, Tomb Raider had a lot of 3D platforming, and there wasn't any yellow tape in that game. In fact, most of the game was a puzzle just to figure out how you even platform. You know, can you make one jump? That was like a big deal with Tomb Raider. And now the yellow tape is essential because we don't want anyone stuck for 2 seconds at any point in the game, right? We're going to have auto saves every 3 seconds, and then you're just going to hold down one button and you'll climb up the yellow tape. You know, Final Fantasy Rebirth has yellow tape in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what started it. It was a Final Fantasy Rebirth.
Oh yeah,
the
discourse. Yeah, I saw, because it's just like, you know, is it necessary though? Is it really necessary? Are gamers that inept?
And then, like,
would people refund the game? Would they get stuck without the yellow paint?
Yeah, like, just,
I guess.
And also just like make it an option, make it optional, right? If I want to
have like a Fisher Price My First Baby option, you tick that, and then there you go. The game plays itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
you can just watch a movie.
Exactly,
because that's what people seem to want. Video games are supposed to be movies now, right? So
yeah, like,
I think we should remove the interactivity completely.
I can think of some good times for it, like in Zelda 1, like how there are bushes you got to figure out need to be burned, certain walls with no hints on which need to be bombed.
Yeah, like the thing is, in later games, right? It's a little crack in the wall, which it makes sense. Like, it tells you all you need to know, and it makes sense in the sense of the world.
That's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little hint there, a little visual cue.
Yeah, it's a visual. I like the visual cues when they make sense,
but keep it subtle. Yeah, keep it subtle.
Yeah.
You know, the fact is, it's FF7, and the original FF7. I mean, you know, did we have yellow tape? I guess it was more of a simple game. They had like that big hand floating above your head, so you don't get lost. So I guess, you know, maybe it makes sense.
Yeah. The whole yellow tape discussion I found just so funny. Just like is it that hard? Because there's in Spider-Man 2, I think there's like an accessibility thing where it's you won't be able to fail or crash into a wall when you swing or something like that. Like it just basically like there's like swinging assist in Spider-Man 2, and it's an option. It's like, okay, if we're gonna have that, which literally like redirects your movements, it's a
this is a problem. Yeah, I mean, this represents the kind of, it's the dumbing down of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, and again, yeah, it's the anti-skill thing, you know, it's that, okay, gamers are all about skill, so let's remove that. Let's have skill not be a factor anymore. I think that's what they're doing, you know, it's kind of just to stick it to gamers as well.
Yeah, and it's so weird because you have that for like the cinematic story stuff, and then on the other hand, you have these like ADHD Adderall zoomer shooters, right? I don't think that's been a coined term before, zoomer shooters. But
yeah, we got the boomer shooters now. Yeah. So what's a zoomer shooter?
Well, you ever see someone building a fort in Fortnite like within 4 seconds? Can't your eyes.
Yeah, like a total visual nightmare of just
it's like
yeah, like something is just like, especially like with like you slide everywhere, you always like peek corners like super fast, you just like look erratic when moving around, right? It's just
yeah.
I've seen some Warzone clips that I don't even know how someone plays like that.
Yeah, it's just like it's okay, I have the perfect meme for it that I just pulled up. Let me show this here on stream. Just POV, you're Gen Alpha robbing a bank, right? And then you have the phone with like TikToks on
it. Oh no, it's the Subway Surfers too.
Subway Surfers.
Family Guy.
Yeah, okay, this is so beyond parody that I actually want this to be a real thing. Just like a literal zoomer shooter. It's like, yeah, look, you're gonna have to look at the phone to replenish your stamina. Yeah, but yeah, I think
I guess this is just the kind of formula for the modern online game, isn't it? Where they're really trying to farm your dopamine. It's just total, it's insane. You know, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
This is a millennial boomer over here. I can't. It's too much information.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, would you? I'm thinking is like, do you think like Apex Legends would be considered like zoomer shooter category?
I don't know. Like, I legit cannot play that game.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Okay, I have a good one. All right, and it's Halo. Halo has been infected with the movement. Yeah, they added.
Oh yeah, that's tragic.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
you know, Halo's my jam, man. You know?
Everything.
Yeah. Look at this clip in Halo Infinite. See, like sliding and no scoping, jumping around like a maniac.
Commendation.
Wait, he's playing against all bots.
Yeah, I think this was like right when the movement update came out, so there's like testing it, I guess. But just like, yeah, you see. Wait. Okay, I like for a second there on the frame I initially paused on, it didn't even look like it hit. Yeah, you see that bullet traversal? That is not hitting him. That is okay. Yeah, literally, like I guess it's more referred to as like movement shooters. Like just like bouncing up and down, right? Like no real sort of weight to it.
For a while they had this really cool mode where everyone just has swords and grapnel hooks, and it's in this like 3-layer map. Oh, it was the funnest thing ever.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of unfortunate how Halo Infinite launched being really bad.
Oh yeah,
or lacking content mostly.
It made sense. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? This is fine for like 5 play sessions, but I think I'm over it. Right? I was like, wow, that was cool. It just shadow dropped in 2021, and then like 5 games later. Yeah, I think I've had my fill.
It's a real shame, you know. Again, it's Microsoft mismanaging the Halo franchise because, I mean, Halo wasn't about that kind of crazy Twitch gameplay, but they've had to modernize it. They've had to make it a movement shooter.
Yeah, like,
but most of the Halo fan base are looking for a kind of slower console shooter. That's what they want.
you know, with more like kind of condensed maps.
Yeah, and like some exploration. You know, some good atmosphere, good music. That's what Halo was all about, right? And the multiplayer was just like the cherry on the cake.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm not crazy, right? For thinking like, oh yeah, this is pretty absurd. Just like sliding around everywhere.
Well, it's not Halo. This is not Halo.
This is like the only multiplayer game I play right now, so I gotta disagree, Manic.
Okay.
Plus, it's custom games. Beyond good.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's fair. You know, again, I'm like an old school Halo fan, so I'm looking at this right now. It looks insane. This doesn't look like Halo to me. It's too fast.
Yeah.
Master Chief, he used to move at this glacial pace, his running speed, and he had no sprint.
Yeah,
that's what I'm used to. I like the ridiculously slow.
Yeah. I think I would be fine with sprint in Halo, like if it's done right. But this is kind of
they added it in Halo Reach. They had a kind of pickup ability you could have.
An armor
sprint
ability.
In Halo Reach. Armor ability, and it was very controversial at the time. The Halo community was kind of pissed. They were like, "Hey, this isn't Call of Duty."
I wasn't there at the time. I don't like remember it too vividly, but yeah, it does.
It was kind of funny, but
yeah,
people were pissed. They're like, and it's like, hey, it's optional.
Yeah,
now it's not optional.
They had to build all the maps around whether you could, whether you were sprinting or not, and it's like it can only be one or the other.
Yeah.
Just and the funny thing is, right? It's like Helldivers 2 is out, and it's essentially like PlayStation has a better like space shooter than Microsoft right now.
That would have been unthinkable a few years ago, but I guess that's where we're at.
Yeah, it's like wow, they took a break from making like another cinematic game to release Helldivers 2. It's like wow, and they actually kind of like hit the mark on it in the
Well, I haven't played Helldivers 2, but from what I've seen, it just seems to be like a fun game people are enjoying without a lot of extra bullshit stuck in.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, 343, they have a real chip on their shoulder when it comes to gamers and Halo fans. They dislike their customers.
Do you remember, this was, I think it was 2020 in the Master Chief Collection. I think there was like police sirens as a banner, a player banner, right? So like when you would game end someone in the game, right? As you're like waiting to respawn, you would see their banner and their like gamer tag or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, there was one that was police sirens, and that was obviously triggered somebody, so they removed it.
ACAB, ACAB. All cops are bastards.
Yeah, but it's like
it's these fucking borderline. They're basically like communists. These developers, and they want to abolish the police. So. We're gonna add that to Halo.
It's not even like some like political thing. It's not like it's the like blue line flag. It's straight up.
It's just police. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like sirens. Sirens. It was a cool aesthetic, right? Like you're getting pulled over.
But we live in this absurd upside down period where, the police are the enemy. The police are the enemy. We have to abolish them, and society will be completely fine without any police. Okay. Yeah. Don't even think about it. It'll be great.
If you try to do the vigilante justice, then the police will get in your way.
Yeah. Well, the police are there to enforce what? Just the general misery of everybody. But I live in the UK, so the police force here, they don't give a shit about actual crime, but they'll arrest you for a tweet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They'll come to your house and harass you if you say something mean about the trans community online. But
yeah, this is
abolish the police.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Was it I'm pretty sure 343 recently just announced that they're ending support for Master Chief Collection, despite the game having a higher player count than Infinite right now.
And that just seems like it's out of spite, because 343 really have some kind of issue with Bungie. It's like they hate Bungie. They want to show up Bungie. They want to change Halo to stick it to Bungie. It's just like, again, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The market should have corrected this years ago, but we live in some kind of controlled market, I guess.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty sure they ended support before they even added Halo 5. So, for all the Halo 5 fans out there, rest in peace. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that project should have been like a love letter to Halo fans, but it released in a terrible state.
Yeah.
And a lot of the remastering work is very lazy, and it doesn't really respect the original art assets. I'm not a fan of the Master Chief Collection as a Halo fan.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm not too.
It's okay. It's passable.
Yeah, it works.
It works, but when it came out, I mean, it really shouldn't have been released in the state.
Yeah, you couldn't get a match.
Yeah, the multiplayer in particular.
It didn't function.
Yeah, like
it took them a long time to fix it too.
Yeah, like when did they end up fixing it? Like 2018 or something?
It just took years.
Yeah,
I remember I was getting matchmaking games in 2017.
Oh, you man, dude, being a Halo fan, it must be like being a battered housewife, just over and over and over.
I mean,
I
did all the campaigns on MCC on Legendary, so I mean, I thought it was pretty okay.
Okay, to extend this analogy, the battered housewife left the great husband, Bungie, before he went on a crack gambling streak, and now this battered housewife is with a serial abuser, 343.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. I like that.
Because but to be fair, modern Bungie, not good. Destiny 2.
They're not so good either.
Yeah, but
microtransactions.
I'd assume like most of the people involved in Bungie now are not, the people that made Bungie great.
No way.
No doubt.
Yeah, like I don't know. The original Bungie devs are probably scattered all over the place somewhere, different corners of the industry.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them kind of got forced out during the development of Destiny.
Yeah.
Which was supposed to be a completely different project. I mean, when it was in development, I think it was going to be more like a successor to Halo and less like an online, just a purely online kind of game. But I think it was Activision that gutted the project, and you had a lot of the OG devs leaving Bungie at that time.
Yeah, and it's like even when
Marty O'Donnell.
Yeah, even when Bungie isn't like Marty O'Donnell like running for Congress or something.
Yeah, he's in Vegas.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, he's running as a
You
Republican.
should rewrite the national anthem. That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Yeah, his whole campaign will be in the bathroom, and they'll all sing the Halo theme. Yeah, just
Trump should hire him. Should be part of the Trump cabinet.
Yeah,
VP.
Yeah. Dude. I know it's like a meme how like Sargon was like like maybe Trump will tweet about Gamergate.
Gamergate 2. Yeah, he said that back in 2018 on the kill stream.
Okay, it is Elon
Sargon.
Musk retweeted it or tweeted about it, right? So it's like it's being like frighteningly possible, right? It's like, it's like imagine Barron Trump in his ear. It's like, hey, tweet Gamergate.
Yeah, Sargon the Seer.
He'll be right only 10 years later.
Well, Sargon was such a big part of the first Gamergate, I remember listening to a lot of his anti-feminist content back then. He was really calling out Anita quite hard. And he had his role to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's weird thing is like, yeah, that's kind of where he got started. Now he's kind of like more like trying to be like kind of
he's trying to go legit.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, but which is cringe because it's like, dude, you came up during Gamergate. Like the Gamergaters are like the least respected movement online. Everyone hates Gamergaters. But Sargon, of course, he has ambitions of being a politician or something.
Yeah, Sargon is Q.
Now he does that Lotus whatever show.
Lotus Eaters.
Successful. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing good with that, but I find the content kind of just, it's dull. It's kind of like, he rides the line. He's like Tim Pool.
I just can't listen to Raw Sargon, so I haven't seen it.
It sucks. I wouldn't recommend it, but
trust the plan. Sargon is Q. He will.
Yeah, it was him all along.
It was him all along. There will be Gamergate on True Social.
Where he's in the background.
Yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can find that, because I'm pretty sure Sargon like even like quote tweeted it. Like, this is funny. Yeah, he has a humor about it. I don't know, like, okay, to be fair, it's better than like completely disavowing your past, right? Is like an iDubbbz route, or Chris Raygun, right? That guy.
Oh, I haven't heard from him in ages.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him in a while either.
Dude, yeah, Chris Raygun's insufferable now, dude.
Really?
But yeah, basically he's on this PlayStation podcast, and he basically just does all the gaslighting talking points. Like, wow, this guy
awful.
No, I'm pretty sure he said like heel versus babyface in his Starfield pronouns rant was like, he's just the same as Anita Sarkeesian. Right.
I hate that argument. I absolutely hate that argument. I see it constantly, though. It's that, both sides are just as bad, right?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, people are like, stop making everything political. Like, you guys are just as bad as the woke devs. It's like, in what world? They're the ones who are the aggressors. They're the ones invading our culture.
Yeah.
But if you say anything or you point it out, well, you're just as bad as them. It's like, that's bullshit. Anyone that's floating that narrative is just a complete cuck. They should be disregarded.
Yeah, because was it because basically, like, Anita Sarkeesian, she didn't really play video games, right? Like, she was just kind of
she disliked video games.
She would like get basic facts wrong about the games she would talk about. She said that Bayonetta had like caused an increase in like SA in Japan.
Yeah, Bayonetta was her real, that was the first game that she used her critique on, she kind of, she spoke up and said, Bayonetta is this misogynist, offensive character. And it's, according to who? According to Anita.
Yeah, just like completely. And also it's like, yeah, like heel versus babyface was playing Starfield for like 6 hours until he got to that ranting point. So at least he was like actually playing the video game, which, to be fair, if I was playing Starfield for 6 hours straight, I don't think I could handle it, frankly.
Yeah, that means he played the game 6 times longer than I did.
Yeah, I gave up after about 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got to the floating rock, I just put it down.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just so horrible. It's just like it's really bad, Starfield. Right? I'm surprised he even got that far. I'm surprised.
He got a lot of shit for that, though.
Yeah.
I get it too, because he is kind of like the most ridiculous representation of a gamer, an angry gamer, but
exactly,
like I sympathize with what he's saying. I mean, the fact is Starfield is unnecessarily woke, right? I mean, the character creator, I just found that hilarious. I mean, every single preset is just a hideous looking creature. There's not one aesthetic looking preset in the game. And they have the pronouns on top of that. Like, fair enough.
Yeah.
as was right.
Yeah, he was totally vindicated. It's
yeah.
Let me check the Steam charts for Starfield, because I know at one point it dipped down below Skyrim.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, maybe even Fallout 76, maybe.
That would be a serious embarrassment.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Wait, hold up. PUBG Battlegrounds is still getting. PUBG Battlegrounds still has like 135,000 players concurrently.
No way.
That's crazy. Yeah, okay, yeah, for some reason, right? Counter-Strike 2 is currently has over 800,000, even though Counter-Strike 2 really bad compared to CS:GO. Yeah, let me check the Steam charts real quick for Starfield. All right, yeah, let me bring this on. So Starfield,